Hello, good morning for a few more minutes, everyone. I am Cathy Riva, and I'm coming to you live from Port Washington with tips and strategies that you can use to change your life, hopefully for the better. Today, I'm going to be talking with a beautiful woman named Allison Dankner, and she is a speaker, a behaviorist, she's a learning advocate, and she runs a company called Success for Your Child. So I'm really, really excited to just talk with her and find out some strategies to make your life better. And as people are kind of joining in, I'm just going to say hi. So today, again, there's this great book called Think Like a Rocket Scientist, and it's simple strategies you can use to make giant leaps in your life. Allison Dankner is one of those people who has these strategies that can really help you make giant leaps in your life. So I'm really thrilled to talk to her. Joining now. Hi, Allison. I know you're kind of getting online. Hi, Lynn. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here this morning. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Allison. So Allison is a behaviorist, a learning advocate. As I said, she has a commitment to education and to children. She has been working with children for decades in any capacity you can imagine, but really as a coach. And she helps them find their gifts and then give them to the world. That's her specialty, and she's so beautiful at it. She is currently in Florida, but she also lived in New York City for a very long time. And we became acquaintances because of my passion of the work I'm doing with teens. So you can check all that stuff out at thepath.com/teens. And my passion for kids led me to this beautiful human. So Allison, are you able to join? Let's see. Are you able to, let's see if I can, okay. Let's see if I can add you in.
I think I'm getting on right now.
Hi.
Hi, you beautiful human. Thank you
Hello.
so much for bringing me in. Hi, Cathy. Hi, everyone.
Good morning, Allison. So this is so exciting. So I'm just so excited to just, I don't know, be with you in this moment, truthfully. Like this is enough.
But
I think
being with you brings sunshine to every moment. Every time we interact, there's more sunshine in the world.
well, I feel the same way. So I think maybe because I just kind of gave the intro about your beautiful work that you do with Success for Your Child, maybe you could just tell people a little bit about yourself. And, I kind of gave them the byline, but if you want to talk about your why, what's your story, and then we'll get into the actionable tips that parents can use to help their child find success, especially in these uncertain times, and looking forward to summer and fall, like anything that we can do to kind of ease anxiety and really help like hold these beautiful beings close.
I love what you just said. Thank you so much for that introduction. If we can help them continue to shine, we're doing a marvelous job. My why, I'm really committed to empowering families to work together successfully while raising kids' self-esteem, their ability to self-regulate, and their ability to learn successfully, so that together families really thrive emotionally, socially, behaviorally, and academically. And I love what I do because I'm so grateful to help kids find their happiness, their joy, and their success.
Well, that sounds like some grown-ups can enjoy that too, by the way.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Jeezy. So where to begin? I know we did a little bit of a conversation. I just mentioned that I'm reading this book, Think Like a Rocket Scientist, and I feel like you basically are like a rocket scientist, but it's like the simple strategies. And I say that because you offer these same strategies that this rocket scientist offers to make giant leaps in your life, and you do that specifically for kids. So what are some tools or what are some tips that you would suggest where kids are finding themselves, and what are you hearing from kids in this moment in time right now?
I'll tell you, what I'm hearing right now is that kids are disappointed and frustrated and scared. We all understand why, because we are all feeling those same exact emotions. I have found some really successful ways to channel that for kids. And I would love to give some examples, because if we can help kids sort of steady themselves and also reduce the boredom that this lockdown has brought, the anxiety that it has raised, and really help them find some sunshine and light inside, we're doing some really great leading into summer, and then also successfully leading into fall. One thing I would ask us all to consider is, first, they won't have the opportunities for summer camps, for teams, for interacting. And so I want to take you to take a step back and consider something. Think about the glue that really held our kids together during the school year. They had structure from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 7 p.m. Now, that definitely reduced their boredom, reduced their anxiety, and gave them great interacting. We can't give them that great interacting, but let's think about, can we replicate some of that structure at home? Some of it. Now, let's think about something first. Let's first think about finding their joys, their passions, and let's help them enjoy their days and their summer.
Yeah. Well, I like what you just said. So I agree. So I have a 13-year-old, and one of the things that really helped us is routine. Routine and ritual, I think, are really anchors and grounding points for us to kind of grow from. So it's almost like, if you can imagine being a tree has deep roots, and sometimes the roots are deeper than the actual tree itself is height. So it's like, how do we, when you're in uncertain times, let's face it, almost all the time is uncertain. We just had our other rituals and routines that we were kind of attached to. So how do we recreate a more fluid routine and a more flexible idea? And maybe that starts with the mindset. Maybe, Allison, can you speak to that? Like, what is the mindset shift that has to happen?
I think we may be thinking both a little bit about growth and fixed mindset. And I want to pull kids from fixed mindset to growth mindset, and just a little analogy to envision growth and fixed mindset. So let's envision that our teen, our 5-year-old, our 7-year-old, our 12-year-old is on their way somewhere, and where they're going, they really want to go. There's something they really want. Now there's this big boulder and it's blocking them. Now, fixed mindset is going to sit down on the other side of that boulder. They're going to get disappointed. They're going to think, oh, I wanted that. They're going to think, when is someone going to come and move this for me or give me what's over there? They're going to be quite disappointed, and I'm not blaming them for this perspective. Now, look at growth mindset. Your growth mindset kid is going to figure out a way around it, above it, through it. Somehow they're going to get there. And what that illustrates is fixed mindset doesn't believe that they have the ability to change their mindset, their ability to learn, and their talents. Whereas growth mindset knows if they apply themselves, they can and they will. I want to go back to what you just said. Giving kids structure, it allows them to look ahead, and it does reduce anxiety. It really reduces anxiety for so many kids. Consistency, it anchors them, like you said. So first, if we understand that we know consistency helps kids, and we also want to look at mindset, growth and fixed mindset. If we can help kids, what I have found with many of the teens I work with, I'm thinking about kids with fixed mindset, and it's that, oh, come on, baby, I believe in you. Come on, I see all these wonderful things. Let's help you see them. And one of the things I did with a girl I'm working with for a few months now is I helped her find her joy I like how to pull it out of her. And then we started talking about that she needed to make it the most important thing in her day and her week. We needed to schedule that. But let me ask you, do your kids know what they enjoy? Do your kids know what lights their fire? Because most kids I work with know.
So that's a great question. I think, for my daughter, she's still learning what she likes. And, I think spending time with her friends at age 13 is almost as important as figuring out who she is. Like that's part of like the mirror exercise of like who she is and what gifts does she offer the world through friendship. So I think, yeah, how would you recommend as a parent we go about helping kind of fuel our kids' curiosity for what their talents are?
One thing is we can use the clues we had in what they were doing in school and where their interests were and work with kids to find a creative way to implement it now when they're locked down and they're isolated. We both know how important the social interaction is developmentally right now. There are creative ways to get there, and you wonderful woman, are implementing those wonderful ways. But let's get to how I helped Ella find her joy, and I think it can help everyone. One practical way you can do it is called a think aloud.
Ooh, yeah. I'm taking notes, by the way. I'm taking notes. I need this advice.
I take notes with you too. So you have so much to offer. And so what we're going to do is we're going to think aloud. We'll just take our thoughts and we speak them out loud. And what we can accomplish in this is offering suggestions, examples. We can persuade kids to consider a possibility, but we're really honoring the autonomy they need. You know, at your daughter's age, right? They need autonomy. We have to honor it.
And just to go back to the think aloud, so what does that look like? So if I sit down, Riley, and I say, listen, I know in school you loved art, you liked lunch, you liked going outside. Those are the things that she really resonated with back when school was a thing. And I actually think she has a passion for history, but it's not fueled yet. Like she just loved Hamilton, and she was fascinated by the years beyond, like what the lifestyle was like in a long time ago.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
If she likes outside and you think we can kindle that interest, there are so many places on Long Island with such rich history, especially right near where you are. And so you know how to turn things into a really engaging project. So perhaps if you could light her fire, somehow spending time at one of those outdoor places when it's safe, because you can social distance at the Arboretum, at Teddy Roosevelt's house. Oh, right. And I love, and there's a bird sanctuary over there too. So then
so much good stuff. So much good stuff.
Okay, so what I'm thinking, what I did, I think aloud is a little more sort of, it's not cagey. Cagey isn't the right word, but it sort of looks like this because we can't go at it directly. We need to go at it sideways. So with your daughter, I'll think about your daughter. I'll think about Ella also. With your daughter, it might look something like, now you're not really going to look directly at her when you're saying this because you're thinking and you're thinking out loud. So, I'm thinking about, what do you like in school? Dude, honey, what did you like? I mean, you liked lunch, you liked outside, you liked art, right? And so, let me think. Would you like this? No, I don't think you'd like that. Did you like those science projects? No, I don't think you liked those. Wait, what was it that we did outside? Wait, remember that time we spent time learning outside? Did you like that? No, wait, I don't think you did. Wait, did you? You see how I'm back talking? I'm contradicting myself in it because what I'm doing is I'm going through my thinking process where I'm not trying to hit them right at their face because they need that autonomy. And I'm sort of persuading them to go through the yes and no in their own head as I'm doing that. So what I did with Ella went like this. I'm thinking about, now that you're home, like this is when lockdown first started. I was like, you really like being creative. How did you like being creative? Wait, you were painting those rocks. I know that. wait, that time you decorated your room and you just enjoyed it so much, right? Isn't there somewhere online you can go? This is going to lead into everything I'm guiding us to right now, realize and hand our kids for the summer. Okay, so I had already helped her schedule everything that lights her fire previously. She understood I had to have her have it in her schedules. Okay, so now I say to her, wait a minute. You mean, let's look at the fact that you love decorating your room and you found an app or a website where you can do that? I'm thinking, would you want to do something with that? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Let me tell you what I'm thinking about. You tell me how we could create this for you. See how
Yeah, I love that because it doesn't seem like I'm, as a mom, like it gives you the permission to put them in the thinking seat. And even though you're offering the suggestions, it's really that for them to, it's almost like you're fishing. You're fishing and you have bait, and the bait is like hopefully their dream and desire based on some things that you may have observed previously. And then you just put it out there as like a really like, would this be something you want to do?
And it's non-threatening.
Yeah, and it really doesn't mean like mom's saying go like do whatever art class for 2 weeks, 30 minutes a day.
Right, I want to help you. I have two other ways. Now, if your teen is reluctant to sort of let you pull that out, I have a few other ideas. Another idea is think about what they liked in school. Think about what other kids who have the same interests like, and print out the names of activities and then cut them out and then hand them to your child. Now, depending on your child, your teen, they're either going to be engaged doing it with you or they're going to be self-conscious doing it with you.
Right.
So you can either guide them with this or just give them this and send them off. Now, here's what you would do. I have these activities I think you might or might not like. You may hate them, actually. I don't know. Let's help you figure it out. And I have all of these activities. Do me a favor. Don't say do me a favor with your teenager. Say, take a look at these and sort them into the categories of, I might consider these, I don't know, maybe a backup. No way, no how. Not even thinking about it. You know your kid, so you can either say, and you know that adolescent brain, and you can say it's either going to be you have a growth or a fixed mindset kid. Again, depends how you'll categorize these. I would love to do this. I will consider doing this. No thanks, mom. Okay. Or yeah, no, whatever. But you want them sort of metacognition, right? Thinking about their own thinking. Would I do this? And it might work privately. We don't know.
Yeah, well, what I love about what you say is it gives them a chance to pull their focus into thinking about what they like or don't like. And I love the autonomy that the list gives them, or even like the little cutouts, because it really, they have to start thinking about that for themselves. And often when look, I think grown-ups probably need this too, but when you don't have a ritual and you're in uncertain times, often to get the brain to focus on if you just ask a generic question like, what do you like? Oh my gosh, like you would never get an answer. So this is it sounds like a great way to really hone them in on some things they may like or hate, by the way, but at least there's a conversation that started. And with parents and kids, it's just about starting that conversation sometimes. It's like conversation sparkers is what I used to call it when I was a party planner, where you plant conversation sparkers. Like you wear a big brooch and you're like, oh, you're like, do you like my brooch? So it gives people a chance to focus on something and then really think about what they like and don't like. I love that, Allison. Thank you.
We have to have kids sit in that thinking, because if they don't, they're only reacting to us again and again.
Yeah.
Again. They're just, and instead we want them doing that in their own head. I do, I don't. Also, that think aloud was the process we'll all think. One other idea I have is there's a website. I always offer this when kids are struggling with the home responsibilities, with errands, with chores. And we can talk about that another time of how to use Wordle that way. But Wordle is a great website. It creates these beautiful, colorful clouds. And you can put all these activities in to engage your child and then hand it to them and say, circle what you think you might like in this color. Circle what you think in this color. And circle.
Is it Wordle.com?
Wordle. Yes. Yep. You just put it there. Exactly. Okay. Now let's take a step back and look at structuring them a little bit. And let's take it from that passion list. Let's take it from that.
I love that. Okay. Walk me through.
So
please.
I'm doing this with Ella right now, and I'll tell you where I'm at in the process. I'm only about 3 steps ahead. So Ella loves to be creative. As I said, Ella likes decorating rooms. I have a conversation with Ella and I say, you know, we know that you love doing this and we know how important it is to schedule that every day. I want to talk to you about something. I said, look, honey, you've really shown that you are a great learner now. Look at how you did this, this, and this, and this during distance learning. By the way, that was only after I had her schedule her joys. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, yeah. Okay. And I said to her, I needed to say back to her to change her self-talk and her self-narrative. So I start telling her how great of a learner and engaged she's become. I'm not blowing smoke. I'm naming what she did. You organized, you knew what you had to do and what you had already done. I was very specific. Then I say to her, darling, you have shown such focus, attention, and you have strengthened that muscle. Wow. I don't want you to lose that muscle. You understand how much I care about you. And what I'm saying is, I don't want you to lose that muscle. What do you say we find a long-term project around you redecorating rooms? And we're on FaceTime and she was like, huh. I was like, huh, I was like, and what do you think if we make it a lot of fun? I was like, but what we should do is, look, I said, you're really strong at math. So what do you say we work in a really creative way, reading and writing, to give you some practice, make sure we're strengthening that muscle. And I said, it'll be like giving proposals or something to other teenagers. I said, you know, we could create a business right now, or you don't have to. And then
cool.
Said, right, because we want to take what they're interested in. We have to get them still learning and focusing and engaging. Because if not, it's going to be so overwhelming again when school starts.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, I think that what you said really resonates with me, and Ella's like just finding her passion and joy and that decorating. It's, you know, that may shift, that may evolve, but the process that you're using to get her to find the joy are the tools that she's going to have for life. So like this book calls the Think Like a Rocket Scientist says that there are strategies that you use to make giant leaps in work and life. And I feel like what you just said was the end goal is always really a beautiful thing, but it's those praising the organization, the focus, I wrote them down, the attention, using that as like giving her the ladder, the steps on the ladder, and she's going to have those steps for life.
You know, there's something there's something that's near and dear to me, and I'm going to say this. The way we change behaviors is we praise process. It's just what you spoke about. When we praise process, we allow kids, teens of any age to know what they did to reach a goal. And when a kid struggles in school, they may never get to that completion and that success. So they're not hearing that praise and they're telling themselves the opposite.
Yeah, I think that was what happens. Actually, as a moment, my daughter just walked in. Speaking of all things fun in life, you want to say hi for a second?
Oh yes, please.
Hi. This is Allison. Allison, this is Riley.
Hi Riley, I can't see you.
Yes.
Hi Riley.
Yes. Yes.
Hi,
This
sweet
is
girl.
my mini me, and she's like some
Yes.
of the reason I am so inspired to talk to you, Allison, because Allison is she does Success for Your Child. She's really amazing, and she helps kids find their inner joy, and she walks them through a process so that even though your joys may change and evolve, the process of finding them will stay the same. You'll have them forever. That's cool. Isn't that cool?
Oh, she's
So,
awesome. Oh, she's awesome.
okay.
Thank you
Anyway.
for saying hi, honey.
Yeah, so
So nice.
she's doing homework in her pajamas, which is kind of one of the advantages of quarantine is that hey, that's just how
Wait,
it goes.
let's reward her. Let's have her start self-rewarding. So if we can find some of the activities that marvelous girl likes, maybe taking walks, maybe working out, maybe talking to friends, maybe baking, maybe coloring, maybe sitting on the couch, maybe making something in the kitchen,
Yeah,
whatever it is, get that
all of
list
those things.
together. Oh, look at that. Get
Yeah.
that list together and have her put that in place as her self reward for doing the work in the pajamas right now.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's really awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Say please, please schedule doing something you love to give yourself the reward. Look at all the hard work you just did.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's such a great advice, right? Like we need, I call them touchstones, things to look forward to. And at the end of the day, when as we're in this uncertain time of human being versus human doing, and we're kind of looking for that dynamic balance between it all, it's like, how do we reward ourselves? And I love something that you had mentioned to me at another call is that you find that if you give kids the ability to do the things that they don't look forward to first. Like when you're doing a priority list, if it's something they're kind of like, this is like going to be really hard, tackle that first. And I love that piece of advice because I think grown-ups could really use that too. I use it and it's very
I do
beneficial.
it. Yes, I don't let myself work out until I've done everything I have to do. I'm doing it to myself. And if we do that with kids, there's no one else to blame that you can't do what you did, what you want to do also. But let's build in those self rewards because then we just start operating that way. But we're also praising process again by doing that. Because I worked hard, because I focused, because I engaged, I get to reward myself with this.
Yep, I love that. Yay, go reward system. And I think that to your point, what is if a child is really lost and there isn't joy like tangible, I think probably you said just accepting where you are is also part of the process. Before you get to joy, there is a grieving process that maybe people are going through because this is an unprecedented time that we're all in together.
Can I speak to that for a moment? I'm sorry
Yes,
to
please.
interrupt you. Okay. We can't change what situation our kids are in right now. And we also did not create this. But if we speak to and acknowledge what teens are disappointed about, what they're frustrated about, and what they're afraid about, and I'll break that down. They are so darn disappointed that they didn't get to do those competitions, do those presentations, be on that team, go to that prom, go to that graduation, try out for that team they planned on. So if we can just speak to that, we can't fix it. Let's not try and fix it. Let's just say, gosh, I know how hard it must be I know how frustrated you must be, and I'm just sorry. That's all. I'm just acknowledging it. Then frustrated. Oh goodness, they're frustrated because they think we're a little ridiculous, don't they? They think we're a little ridiculous with the social distancing, with the hand washing, with the masking. They also are frustrated that they're stuck in the house with all of us. Yeah? And they're also frustrated. Look, their brains are wired for social interaction right now. And you spoke to something genius. If kids, we find that teens, most of their talking is about experiential times. and if they don't have them together. So let's acknowledge how frustrated they are. They can't see their friends. They're not doing what they're doing. They're stuck with us, and we're absurd. Don't defend anything. Like, don't defend anything. The other thing is fear. We're all afraid right now. We don't know what's coming up any more than kids know what's coming up. And as much as we try to hide how financially or emotionally or physically afraid we are, you know, your kids feel what's going on with you, right?
Yeah.
And so if we can speak to it and don't give them any solutions. And this is so important. Don't tell them it will be okay. Don't tell them it's going back to how it was, because it isn't. Instead, let's tell them you believe in their ability to deal with what comes, what may, to be flexible, to achieve no matter what's thrown at them, because that's really what matters.
I love that. I think that's so true. I believe in your ability. And Allison, I believe in your ability.
I believe in yours. I'm impressed with yours. I'm impressed with your way of thinking. I want to ask everyone to do what you and I as educators understand to do. If we can think about what resonated the most for us, what we think we could actionably implement right now, and how we think we'll know if it worked. If everyone listening right now can think about, like, what worked for me, what really resonated, what will I try? What will I, just, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. What will I create? What will I create out of this? Where will I be in the next uncertain place? And how can I have less of a fixed mindset myself and move into the growth mindset? And I think that, that's a situational thing, not just a global thing where, I might be really open and having conversations on Instagram Live, but I might be in a fixed mindset. Well, I like to have breakfast every day. It's like we can always take a look and self-reflect on even the nuances of where we may have fixed mindset, and then not to judge it, but just to be like, oh gosh, maybe I don't have to have breakfast this morning. I can have brunch instead with my girlfriend.
Or I see that I'm like that. I see that I'm like that. And all right, I'm like that. Let me think about, why am I like that? Am I stuck on being like that? Right?
Yeah, and then it's all about that nuance of maybe letting go and teaching our kids these tools early. Allison, I think, is a gift. You are a light for the world. If you want to find Allison, you can find her Success for Your Child. Is it successforyourchild.com?
AllisonCD.com. And so AllisonCD.com, there'll be articles and videos that will probably really help people put into practice what we've talked about today. Give them really concrete step-by-steps.
Amazing. And I just want to recap the beautiful tips and tools you gave us today.
Thank you. I was going to. Thank you.
Oh, well, yeah, actually, certainly feel free to, what my takeaways is that you offered the ability for our child to be okay with whatever is happening in their life at this moment, and then finding the process to get to joy and walking through strategies that are very specific that they can keep forever, even as their joy evolves. And that's what I really took from today. So I'm so grateful.
Bloom where you are planted. Bloom where you are planted, because right now here is where we are planted.
Here's where we are.
Right. Thank you so much for bringing me on. You and I had spoken about, if we can help one teen find their joy, be more comfortable with themselves, enjoy this summer, and also, let's not forget, lose that focus muscle. Bring in that long-term project and schedule it before what they enjoy, to really help them go into school confident too. Because if we're bringing them up, let's send them forward up too.
You're a genius. Like, yes, let's keep the muscle this summer focused. And even though we may not have camp in some places of the United States or the globe, if you're watching from other places, how can you keep the muscle focused? And these steps, Allison, are really terrific. I'm so grateful for you. Check her out at AllisonCD.com. I will post that when I write about it in the notes.
One
And if
more
you have any
thing.
questions, yeah.
Cathy is right now hosting a meditation mindfulness mindfulness workshop for teens. And the way that you're engaging these kids and the way that they're comfortable is wonderful. Please find out more about what she's doing. I've already recommended you to 3 clients.
Yeah, thank you. I really am grateful. The program is on thepath.com, which is a terrific organization that does meditation in a whole new way, for a whole new way of thinking, not just for the United States, but for the globe. And it's all about collecting our hearts and being connected and finding ways to really be more self-aware. And so thepath.com is where that information is. But Allison, you're such a light. Thank you so much for these tools.
Thank you so much, Cathy.
I love the analogy you gave of the boulder and the fixed mindset, and like how some children or even grown-ups, truthfully, will just sit down and be like, there's a boulder, someone come and save me. I'm so upset there's a boulder in my path. And then others are going to be like, I need to get to whatever is on the other side of that boulder, and whatever it takes is the growth mindset. Like, I love that. Thank you for like, I'm going to use that imagery like now for all of my classes.
Marvelous from my brain to there. Wonderful. I love it. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for this time with you. I always enjoy time with you. Thank you so much, Cathy.
We do so much for kids. Thanks, Allison. And hi, Liz. We are signing off, but have a fantastic afternoon.
Bye, everyone.